Hello and welcome to another 365 tutorial. If you are in class with me, hopefully today you will enjoy what we're talking about because it will directly help you with your homework. We are talking about Pandas and specifically the GroupBy features that you can use in Pandas to summarize your data and aggregate it and look for insights in different perspectives. So I'm really excited for you. If you happen to just fumble across this video and you're looking for help with Pandas, you are here and in the right place. I'm happy to help you too. You'll just need to go out and grab the data set that we're going to work on today, and I will talk to you a little bit about how to do that in just a minute. So if you are in class with me right now, what I need you to do is grab that Titanic data set that we've been working on in class, and I don't want you to open it up in Pandas or in Colab. I just need you to open it up in Excel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out of my PowerPoint, and I am going to open that up as well. So let's jump right in and take a peek at this data set. So if you're not familiar with the Titanic data set, which in class with me you would be, it is a CSV, a comma separated values file that has all of the information we know about the passengers of the Titanic when she sank on that fateful day. So we've got passenger number, we've got if they've survived or not, if they're first class or second class or so on. We've got their names, if we happen to know them. We've got their gender, we've got their age. Hey, speaking of age, notice there's some holes here. When you work with machine learning algorithms, we don't like holes, right? So we're going to need to do something with that. If they have siblings on board, their ticket number, the fare price, the cabin if we know it, so on and so forth. So now if you're familiar with Excel, there's some really cool things you can do with grouping and subtotal features to find some insight in your data sets. So for example, maybe we're interested in doing a gender study of the people on the Titanic, right? Well, we could do all kinds of stuff. So if we wanted to do that, here's some features we can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to sort the data based on gender. I'm going to jump over to data. I'm going to go to subtotal, and I'm going to say at every change in gender, I'm going to apply an average to the, let's just say for now, age. And when I do that, at first it doesn't look like it did anything, but if I change the granularity, hey, look what it tells me. It tells me the average age of women on the Titanic was 27, almost 28. Average male of men, average male of men was 30, almost 31. And the overall average was 29.69, right? So that's pretty insightful. We could even look at some other things, right? So maybe we're interested in the ticket price. Now, keep in mind, this column that's called ticket is the ticket number, and fare is actually the price that they paid. So I could go back in here and I could add fare as an option. Now, again, it looks like it didn't do anything, but if I jump over and change the granularity, hey, we got something. And actually, we have our first business insight. An intriguing insight, if you will. Take a peek. Hey, the average price that females paid to be on the Titanic was almost double the price of males. Now, that doesn't mean much, right? We would have to dig into this a little bit more because what we don't know is the breakdown of their class. So were more females first class versus males being second or third class? We don't know that. We would need to dig a little bit more, but these are the insights you can start to get as you aggregate your data and you sift through this awesome sea of data. Okay. So as you get into bigger data, you know that eventually you hit the end of Excel, right? Excel does have a limit. It's like 1 million something lines of data. And then after that, you can't do anything more. So at that point, all of a sudden, you're starting to look for different solutions. And one of those would be Pandas, which is a library that you can run inside Python. Obviously, in this class this semester, we will work with Pandas almost every single day of class. So what I want to show you is how to deal with grouping and aggregating in Pandas. And if you happen to be fighting with assignment 3 right now, don't leave because I am going to help you out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of Excel. Goodbye, my friend. We don't need you anymore. And I'm going to go into, there we go. I'm going to go into Jupyter Notebook. Well, it's not Jupyter Notebook. This is Google Colab, which is a cloud-based version of Jupyter Notebook. So the first thing I'm going to need to do here is I'm actually going to need to mount my Google Drive, which I probably haven't done. So if you are following along with me, you're going to want to go ahead and mount your Google Drive. If you are new to the channel and you have just downloaded the Titanic CSV, you're going to want to put that on your Google Drive or in your Google Drive and then mount your Google Drive into Colab like I am doing now. So I've already got a ton of stuff in here. So I'm just going to mount my Google Drive. If you don't know how to do that, there is another video that I have that will show you how to do that. And for now, I'm just going to jump in and let's look at how we can group data and aggregate data using the GroupBy feature inside Pandas. So in order to do that, first thing we're going to need to do is load the Pandas library. So I'm going to import Pandas like so. So now once I do that, I need to read the data from my Titanic data set into a data frame. So that's easy enough. So I'm going to go df for data frame. We're going to go read underscore CSV. And I want to, actually, we're going to go back and we're going to say td.read underscore CSV. We're going to paste that in there like so. So the first thing you want to do when you're working with a data set just in general is you might want to take a second and just check it out before you go too far down the rabbit hole, right? So maybe we're interested in seeing what kind of data types we have. And we see we do have some that are integers, we do have some that are strings, and we do have some that are decimals, right? So float is a decimal, integer is a whole number, and object would be basically a string. Now, as you know, we don't like words, so there's not much we can do with them, but we just know that we've got those in there. A couple other things you may want to check on is, for example, if we are missing values, right? So we can go df is NA. And we do see that we have a problem with age and cabin. Now, with age, this is something we can fix. And with cabin, this is something, I mean, I don't know if it's worth fixing, right? The cabin numbers are alphanumeric. We don't necessarily need them. We're not going to drop them. But with age, that might be something we can work with. So first of all, let me quickly explain to you what I did before we get into the grouping thing. Is I use the is NA feature within Pandas, right? So if I go df is NA, like so, just straight up, what that's going to do is give you a series of trues and falses. So where you have a false, if you see false, what that means is there's a value there and everything's fine. Where you see true, what that means is there's a missing value. And what I did was I said, hey, take all those falses and trues and add them up. And what that's telling me is there's 177 missing values in age. Now, age is kind of a key insight that we might want to look into. And there's a couple different things we can do here. So in this particular example, before we get into the grouping, which is what I want to do, I'm going to take a second and I'm going to fill the age with the missing values. Well, not missing values. I'm going to pick something and fill it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my df age column. Okay, what I want to do is I want to fill NA, which is fill the null values. And I'm going to do that by taking the average age. And I will break this down for you. Okay, so first thing I did was just simply isolate age, okay, within the data frame. I'm saying, hey, I want to fill the null values, okay, and I'm going to do that with whatever I put in here. So I could just put a value, just a straight number inside these parentheses and it would do it. But instead, I'm going to work smarter, not harder, and I'm going to say, hey, I want you to take the average age, plop that in there. Now, when I do that, I want this to live inside the data frame. So if I don't do in place equals true, you'll get this, which doesn't really help me very much. What I want it to do is actually live in that data frame forever. So what I'm going to say is I want it to stay inside the data frame that I've created. And what that's going to do for me, first of all, if I just look at it, all of a sudden my null values are gone with age. But if I go even farther, right? So if I do df dot is null or is NA, and I add those up, dot sum, like so, all of a sudden, boom, no null values, things are great. Perfect, right? So you are welcome if you were working on your assignment today. I just did you a favor. So let's talk about what I wanted to talk to you about today, which is dealing with grouping and aggregating inside Pandas the same way we just did using the subtotal feature inside Excel. So in order to do that, there is a feature in Pandas called GroupBy, okay? So for example, I could do df.groupBy, and within that, I could do sex, which is the way they have gender classified inside this data frame. And then from there, I can do whatever I want, right? Which is mean. So for example, if I do df group by sex and then I do mean, what that's going to do for me is the exact same thing that it did in Excel. Ta-da! Now, the one thing it does, which is kind of nice, is it will do it for any numerical column inside your data. So any data type that has a number value in it, it will automatically do that for you like so. Okay. And it is that simple. Now, what's really cool is you can actually play off this more if you wanted to. So for example, I could even chart this if I wanted. So I could do plot.bar h, except I want to make sure that that is a period. And it should, yeah, look at that. So not only can you just get this numerical output, you also have the ability to visualize that as well. So there's nothing to it. The GroupBy feature is really easy. Just think of it like an extension of subtotal that is built into Excel. Now you can do any aggregation method you want, right? So not only do I have the ability to do mean, I could do any of the other things I was interested in, and it would give me the ability to apply those numbers. Now all I did here was I just created a plot after that. You don't necessarily need to do that. If you simply just want to get the numbers for whatever analytics you're interested in, hey, that's all there is to it. So I wanted to keep this one short and sweet just to help you guys out and hopefully do our tutors a little bit of favor in case they're about to be bombarded with questions with the homework. And if you just happen to be out there in the YouTube world and you thought, hey, I needed help with pandas and grouping or group by feature inside pandas, hopefully this helps you out. I'm always taking requests. So if there's something you need help with, give me a shout. Have a great day, my friends. As the young kids say, click like and subscribe if I helped you out. Hopefully I did. And I will talk to you soon.